There are 7 types of people walking this earth whose entire existence is built around draining yours. You have at least 3 of them in your phone contacts right now. You probably have one sitting in the next room. You know who they are. You have felt the drain. You have hung up the phone after a conversation and felt your energy vanish like air from a punctured tire. You have left a dinner feeling somehow lighter, not in spirit, but in substance, as if something was taken from you that you cannot name. It was Niccolo Machiavelli, writing from exile in a farmhouse in Tuscany, warned us about these people 5 centuries ago. He did not call them toxic. He did not call them narcissists. He called them what they are: predators, parasites, and the willfully ignorant. 3 categories of human beings who will consume your time, your energy, your money, and your peace if you let them. And you have been letting them, because you have been taught that cutting people off is cruel, that boundaries are selfish, that love means endurance, that if you just love them enough, sacrifice enough, be patient enough, they will change. They will not change. Machiavelli wrote in The Prince, "Men are so simple and so much inclined to obey present necessities that a deceiver will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived." You have been the one allowing yourself to be deceived, not because you are stupid, because you are kind. And kindness without boundaries is not a virtue. It is an open door for the predators of the human species to walk in, sit down, and feast on your life force. Today, we are going to perform an audit, a ruthless, surgical audit of the people in your life. We are going to identify the 7 types of people who are actively destroying you, not with weapons, not with fists, with their presence, with their patterns, with the slow, invisible bleed of their toxicity into your bloodstream. Some of these types you will recognize instantly. You will see their face in your mind before I finish describing them. Others are more subtle. They wear the mask of love. They speak the language of concern. And by the time you realize what they are doing, years of your life will have been consumed. This is not about being paranoid. This is about being precise. Machiavelli advised the prince to study the nature of the people around him, not out of hatred, but out of survival. You must do the same. If you are ready to reclaim the energy that has been stolen from you, listen closely. The first type is the one you least expect, and the 7th type is the one sitting closest to you. Let us begin with the most subtle and often the most dangerous type, the architect of chaos. You know this person. Every time you speak to them, there is a new tragedy. They lost their job. Their car broke down. Their partner cheated on them. The landlord kicked them out. It is a relentless, exhausting stream of misfortune. At first, your heart bleeds for them. You think, my God, how can one person suffer so much? You step in, you lend them money, you offer them advice, you connect them with opportunities, and for a week, maybe a month, things seem calm. But then, the chaos returns. The job you got them, they lost it because the boss was out to get them. The money you lent them, it's gone, swallowed by a new emergency. Listen to me. Bad luck is contagious. This is not magic. It is psychology. The chronically unlucky are people who lack judgment, discipline, and self-awareness. They make impulsive decisions. They ignore red flags. They antagonize people. They are lazy in their thinking and careless in their actions. But here is the trap. They never take responsibility. It is always the world doing it to them. It is always bad luck. Machiavelli warned against associating with the unlucky, not out of superstition, but out of observation. He noticed that some people are not victims of fate. They are architects of their own destruction. They are the ones who cut the brake lines and then wonder why the car crashed. You have a friend like this. You have been their emergency contact for years. Every time the phone rings at midnight, you know it's them. And you answer because you are a good person. But here is what you must understand. Their chaos is not an accident. It is a lifestyle. They do not want solutions. They want an audience. They do not want to fix the problem. They want to talk about the problem. Because the problem is the only thing that makes them feel alive. Your attention is their oxygen. Your energy is their fuel. And as long as you keep supplying it, they will keep burning. The kindest thing you can do for the architect of chaos is to let them face the consequences of their own destruction. Stop being their umbrella. Step back. Let the rain fall on them. Let them get wet. Let them get cold. Because only the cold will make them realize they need to build their own shelter. If you keep shielding them, you are merely an enabler of their incompetence. And eventually, their bad luck will become your bad luck. The infection of misfortune spreads through contact. Quarantine yourself. Apply this. Look at your phone. Find the person whose name makes your chest tighten when you see their message. The one you hesitate to answer. The one whose problems never end. You know exactly who I am talking about. That hesitation is your body telling you what your mind refuses to accept. This person is not your friend. They are your parasite, and the longer you host them, the weaker you become. The second type is perhaps the most painful to deal with. This is the person who demands your help, consumes your help, and then resents you for it. Machiavelli wrote extensively about the fickle nature of gratitude. He said, "Men are quick to change their nature when their interests change. The ungrateful person suffers from a deep, malignant wound of entitlement. They do not view your kindness as a gift. They view it as a debt you owe them. Watch the pattern. The first time you help them, they are effusive. Thank you. You saved me. I don't know what I would do without you. You feel good. You feel useful. The hook is set. The second time, they ask with less hesitation. You help again. They say thanks, but it's shorter, less eye contact. The third time, they don't ask. They expect. And if you delay, if you hesitate, they get irritated. They make a passive-aggressive comment. I thought friends help friends. This is the bottomless pit. Nothing you give will ever be enough to fill the void inside them. Because the void is not a lack of resources. It is a lack of character. When you help someone like this, you create a dangerous dynamic. You become the master, and they become the dependent. And human beings, by their dark nature, hate those they depend on. Dependence breeds contempt. Deep down, they hate you because your strength reminds them of their weakness. Your generosity highlights their inability to provide for themselves. So they take your money, they take your time, and they secretly sharpen a knife to put in your back. Have you ever noticed that the people you help the most are often the ones who speak the worst of you when you are not around? This is why your kindness did not create loyalty. It created resentment disguised as gratitude. How do you spot them? Test them. Say no to a small request. The reaction to no tells you everything you need to know about a person's character. A healthy person respects your boundary. The bottomless pit will react with anger, guilt-tripping, or sudden coldness. They will try to punish you for closing the tap. If you see this reaction, run. Do not walk. Run. You cannot save someone who believes the world owes them a living. You will pour your life essence into them, and they will look at you with dead eyes and ask, "Is that it?" Machiavelli advises that if you must help, do it in a way that does not create ongoing dependence. Or better yet, do not help at all if you sense the rot of entitlement. Because the bottomless pit does not want your help. They want your sacrifice. And they will consume you until there is nothing left. And then they will complain that the meal was not enough. Apply this. Think about the last time you said no to someone. Did they respect it? Or did they make you feel guilty? That guilt is not your conscience. That is their conditioning. That is the leash they have attached to your neck. Cut it. Today, not tomorrow. Today. Now we descend into darker territory. The first two types drain you through incompetence or entitlement. This third type drains you through malice. Machiavelli knew that envy is the most destructive force in any court, any business, and any circle of friends. The smiling saboteur is often the person closest to you. They are the friend who has been with you since the beginning. They are the peer who started at the same level as you. But then you grew, you succeeded, you improved, and they stayed the same. They cannot stand it, but they are smart. They don't attack you openly. Open enemies are easy. You can see their swords. The smiling saboteur hides their dagger behind a grin. They want to save you from your own ambition. Listen to the way they speak to you when you share good news. You say, "I got the promotion." They say, Oh, really? That's great. But aren't the hours terrible? You're going to burn out. I'm just worried about you. You say, I met someone amazing. They say, nice. Just be careful. You know how you get your hopes up. I don't want to see you hurt again. Do you hear it? The subtle poison, the feigned concern? They cloak their envy in the language of protection. They try to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. They want to lower your confidence so you fall back down to their level. Because as long as you are rising, they are sinking, and they cannot bear the altitude difference. Robert Greene, in the 48 Laws of Power, warns about this exact type. He writes that you should never outshine the master. But what happens when your own friend becomes the person who cannot bear your light? The envious friend does not want you to fail openly. They want you to fail quietly. They want you to doubt yourself. They want you to shrink back into the version of you that made them feel comfortable. If you try to bring them along, if you try to save them by pulling them up to your level, they will subconsciously or consciously sabotage the journey. They will create drama right before your big meeting. They will give you bad advice wrapped in the language of wisdom. They will reveal your secrets to your rivals under the guise of just being honest. They don't want you to win. Envy is an incurable disease of the soul. It eats the vessel that holds it. The only way to deal with the smiling saboteur is the law of concealment. Hide your wins, hide your joy, hide your plans. Machiavelli advises silence. Do not give them the ammunition of your happiness when you are around them. Be bland. Be boring. Be struggling. How is business? Oh, you know, it's a grind. It's tough. Feed them the misery they crave and keep your victories for those who truly wish you well. If you try to save them, if you try to fix their insecurity with your love, you are hugging a suicide bomber. They will blow up the bridge you are building just to watch you fall into the ravine. Never let them know your next move. Never let them know your true power. Apply this. Think about the last time you shared good news with someone. Did they celebrate? Or did they find the flaw? Did they congratulate you? Or did they offer concern? The difference between a friend and a saboteur is what happens in the first 3 seconds after you share your success. A friend's eyes light up. A saboteur's eyes narrow. Learn to read those 3 seconds. They will tell you everything. We arrive now at the most deceptive creature in the dark forest of human psychology. This type does not come at you with a knife. They do not come at you with arrogance. They come at you on their knees. The professional victim. Machiavelli understood power better than any man in history, and he knew that power comes in 2 forms, fear and sympathy. The tyrant uses fear, but the weak use sympathy. And sympathy is a drug that bypasses your logical brain and injects directly into your emotional center. You must understand this distinction. There are victims of circumstance, and then there are professional victims. A true victim wants to escape their pain. A professional victim wants to farm their pain. They cultivate it. They decorate it. They wear their trauma like a crown of thorns, demanding that you bow before their suffering. They weaponize their fragility. I can't do it because I'm depressed. You're hurting me by asking me to take responsibility. The world is too hard for someone as sensitive as me. If you try to save this person, you enter a game you cannot win. Because to save them would mean taking away their identity. If they get better, they lose their excuse. If they get strong, they lose the attention that their weakness guarantees. So they will fight your solutions. You offer a ladder. They say their arms are too tired. You offer a rope. They say it burns their hands. You offer to pull them up. They go limp, making themselves heavier, forcing you to carry their dead weight. Machiavelli would warn you. The one who relies on the pity of others builds his house on sand. But you, the savior, are building your house on a swamp. Every time you rescue them, you validate their helplessness. You teach them that being broken is a currency. You are paying them to stay sick. And here is the darkest part. The moment you stop, the moment you say, I cannot carry you anymore, the lamb becomes a wolf. The professional victim will turn on you with a ferocity that will shock you. They will paint you as the villain. They will tell the world that you abandoned them. They will rewrite history to make your exhaustion look like cruelty. They need a villain to complete their story. And by trying to be their hero, You have auditioned for the role of the villain when you inevitably fail. Do not play this role. Compassion for a professional victim is not love. It is masochism. It is a refusal to respect the dignity of their own agency. You must let them fall. You must let them face the void without your hand to hold. Because only when the audience leaves does the actor stop performing. Apply this. You know this person. They are the one whose suffering is always worse than yours. The one who redirects every conversation to their pain. The one who, when you share a problem, immediately shares a bigger one. They are not seeking connection. They are seeking the throne of suffering. And they will fight anyone who threatens to take it from them. Step back. Let them have the throne. But stop sitting in the audience. Type 5 is the enemy of wisdom, the enemy of growth, and if you are not careful, the enemy of your sanity. The arrogant fool. This is not just someone who is unintelligent. Ignorance can be cured with knowledge. This is someone who refuses to know. This is someone who is in love with their own opinion, even when that opinion is destroying their life. Machiavelli had a strict rule for princes. A prince who is not wise himself cannot be wisely counseled. He meant that you cannot teach a man who thinks he is already God. You see this person making the same mistakes over and over. They choose the wrong partners. They invest in scams. They start fights they can't finish. You, with your good heart and your clear eyes, you see the cliff they are walking toward. You run to them. You say, "Stop. Look at the map. Look at the data. You are going to fall." And what do? Do they thank you? No. They sneer. They argue. They debate. They tell you that you don't understand. They construct elaborate mental gymnastics to prove that the sky is green and the ground is made of clouds. Why do you waste your breath? Understand this ruthless lesson. You cannot use logic to get a man out of a position he didn't use logic to get into. The arrogant fool does not want truth. They want validation. And when you offer them truth, they perceive it as an attack on their ego. By trying to save them from their ignorance, you become their enemy. You become the personification of the reality they are trying to deny. So, they will attack you. They will call you condescending. They will mock your intelligence. They will drag you into endless circular arguments that drain your spirit and leave you exhausted. And the worst part? When they finally fall off that cliff, and they will fall, they will not learn. They will blame the wind. They will blame the shoes. They will blame you for distracting them. Stop trying to be the teacher to those who have no desire to be students. It is arrogance on your part to think you can force wisdom into a closed mind. Machiavelli suggests a colder approach. Silence. Let reality be their teacher. Reality is a harsh tutor. It does not argue. It does not debate. It simply delivers consequences. When the arrogant fool speaks, do not correct them. Do not debate them. Simply nod and say, "Interesting," and then step back. Watch the crash from a safe distance. Protect your intellect. Do not dull your blade trying to cut through stone. Save your wisdom for those who ask for it. For those who have the humility to say, "I don't know. Help me." Apply this. The arrogant fool in your life is the one who argues with experts, the one who has an opinion on everything but knowledge of nothing, the one who would rather be wrong loudly than right quietly. Stop engaging. Every minute you spend debating them is a minute stolen from your own growth. They are not your project. They are your distraction. There is a type of person who does not attack you, does not manipulate you, does not betray you in any dramatic way. They simply drain you. Slowly, quietly, like a faucet left running in a house you forgot to check. By the time you notice, the tank is empty. The energy vampire is the person who needs constant contact. They text you every day. They call you to talk about nothing. They need your opinion on every decision, no matter how small. Should I get the blue shirt or the green one? What do you think about this restaurant? Do you think my boss was being rude today? They do not need your advice. They need your presence. They need to feel that someone is on the other end of the line, confirming that they exist. This sounds harmless. It is not. Because every interaction with an energy vampire is a one-way transaction. You give attention. They take it. You give energy, they absorb it. There is no reciprocation. There is no depth. There is no growth. It is the same conversation, the same anxieties, the same neediness, repeated on a loop for years. Machiavelli observed that the prince must guard his resources above all else. Energy is a resource. Time is a resource. Attention is a resource. When you allow an energy vampire unlimited access to these resources, you are funding their dependency and bankrupting your own reserves. The energy vampire does not mean harm. That is what makes them so dangerous. They are not malicious. They are empty. And they have learned, usually in childhood, that the only way to fill the void is to attach themselves to someone else's supply. You are not their friend. You are their power source. And power sources that are drained without replenishment eventually explode or shut down. You must set limits, not with cruelty, but with the cold precision of an accountant managing a budget. You have a finite amount of social energy per day. Every minute you spend on the vampire is a minute stolen from your mission, your peace, your actual relationships. Budget your attention like you budget your money. And when the budget is spent, close the account. Apply this. The energy vampire in your life is the one who makes you feel tired after every interaction, even when nothing bad happened. The one who makes you check your phone and sigh before answering. The one whose name on your screen makes your shoulders drop. That physical response is your body telling you what your mind already knows. This person is costing you more than they are giving, and the debt is accumulating. And now, the final type. The one that breaks the hearts of the most loyal people, the history repeater, the scorpion. There is an old fable. A scorpion asks a frog to carry him across a river. The frog says, "No, you will sting me and I will die." The scorpion says, "Why would I do that? Then we would both drown." The frog agrees, seeing the logic. Halfway across, the scorpion stings the frog. As they both sink, the frog gasps. "Why?" The scorpion replies, "It is my nature. There are people in this world whose nature is to betray, whose nature is to destroy." This is type 6. The person you have forgiven 1,000 times. They cheat on you. You forgive them. They steal from you. You forgive them. They lie to your face. You forgive them. Why? Because they cry. Because they promise, "I've changed." They say, "I swear to God, this is the last time. I'm going to therapy. I'm going to church. I'm different now." And you want to believe them. You want to believe in redemption. You want to be the saint who saved the sinner. But Machiavelli warns, men never change their nature. Behavior is a pattern. Character is a pattern. The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. When you save the scorpion from the consequences of their sting, you are not helping them evolve. You are interfering with their data. You are teaching them that they can sting and still survive. You are training them to hurt you. Every time you take them back, you lose a piece of your self-respect. And they respect you less, too. How can they respect someone who treats themselves so poorly? They view your forgiveness not as mercy, but as permission. If they took me back after I did X, they will take me back after I do Y. You are looking for the good in them, but you are ignoring the shadow that is consuming them. Machiavelli advised princes to be wary of those who have betrayed others, for they will inevitably betray you. Loyalty is not a decision, it is a habit. Betrayal is not a mistake, it is a habit. If you are dealing with a repeater, you must perform the hardest act of all, the amputation. You cannot taper off. You cannot be friends from a distance. You must cut it off completely, irrevocably. It will hurt. It will feel like you are cutting off your own arm. But that arm is gangrenous. If you keep it, the poison reaches your heart and you die. The scorpion cannot be saved. It can only be avoided. Accept their nature. Believe them the first time they show you who they are. Stop projecting your conscience onto a predator. Apply this. The scorpion in your life is the one you have given a second chance, a third, a 10th. The one whose apologies you have memorized. The one whose pattern of destruction is so consistent that you could set your watch by it. You know what they will do. You have always known. The question was never whether they would sting again. The question was always whether you would be foolish enough to carry them across another river. Stop carrying them. The river is wide, and you are drowning. Now you see them. The 7 faces of destruction, the architect of chaos, the bottomless pit, the smiling saboteur, the professional victim, the arrogant fool, the energy vampire, the scorpion. You see them in your phone contacts. You see them at your dinner table. You see them in the mirror of your own past decisions. And now you feel a heaviness. Because you realize that to follow this path, you must make choices that will make you look bad in the eyes of the weak. You will be called selfish. You will be called cold. You will be called Machiavellian. Good. Wear those titles like armor, because what they call selfishness, the wise call self-preservation. What they call coldness, the wise call clarity. You must transition from the savior to the sovereign. A savior sacrifices himself to light a fire for others, burning until he is ash. A sovereign builds a lighthouse. He stands tall. He shines a light, but he does not jump into the waves. Those who want to be saved will swim to the light. Those who want to drown will drown in the dark. But the lighthouse remains. This is the ultimate lesson. You are not responsible for the souls of other men. You are responsible for the vessel that carries your own. When you stop trying to save the unsavable, a strange thing happens. You reclaim your energy. You reclaim your time. Your anxiety vanishes.